I'm just doing a sound check, so keep talking. Piano too loud? Am I on at all? Yeah, you're fine. You can't hear me. No, this was way past halfway. So it should be on half. Do it again. One notch up halfway. See, that still feels loud. You can't hear me? I can hear me. I hear it. You might not have a monitor over you. So the first speaker is right there. So can you can't hear it all? Let's light up the world, oh brothers and sisters, together with peace and love. Bring light to the world, our sisters and brothers, and sing immortal. Yeah. Shabbat Shalom.
Celebrate creativity. Every prayer is a midrash. Every single prayer is a midrash. Because every prayer tries to take an experience, a feeling, an idea, and put it into words. How do you put the experience of creation into words? There isn't one way. There are lots of ways. So every single creation prayer is a midrash. We Reform Jews have always taken this seriously. In Gates of Prayer, remember the blue prayer book any of us used? There were 10 different services for Friday evening. Different ideas, different ways to focus on the service. Our new book has just a couple of services, but a lot of options. On the right side of the page is the traditional text with Reform translation. But on the left side of the page is all kinds of different ideas. So to get ready for a service where we're going to celebrate different ideas, I'd like you all to take a minute and think about the most unusual thing that has happened to you in the past year. Take a minute. Now, because it's Shabbat, I'm going to modify it a little and ask you for the most unusual thing that was positive. I don't use the word good because not every experience is good, but something that was positive. The most unusual thing that's happened to you in the past 12 months. It'll take a little while. Give it some time. So now, we'll ask you to get up and find someone new, someone you don't recognize, someone you don't know. Go over and introduce yourself and tell them in short form. Not the book-length form. Short form, the most unusual experience you've had in the past year, and then ask them the same thing. Please do that. Oh, come on.
Last time, the first time I used the senior system, I set it up too early.
Yeah.
Time to celebrate. And so I said, okay, we have to do this last minute. But then it's not working last minute. I was like, why didn't I do this half an hour ago?
Whatever's not going right, just think you could be the director of the Department of Sanitation for the drug. Okay? You got no problems.
I could have been a teacher for one of those first years here. Make it home.
There's one school where they kept them overnight, and they watched movies. You know what movie they watched? Frozen.
How many times?
The reporter said the irony was not lost on these students.
How many
I
times?
don't know, but they... There's somebody with a sense of humor. There's...
Who was at home with all the teachers' parents? Teachers' kids.
Yeah. That's a good one. Where are we doing new drivers?
Oh, I forgot to put it in.
Okay, so we're
wherever
going
you
to do
want
it before Torah.
Okay.
Okay, remind me.
I did forget to put that in.
Okay.
And I don't have an actual pencil. I have only an
What do you need?
electronic pencil to write it down.
Okay.
We're going to do candles and finish together at the beginning.
Cool.
To be different.
Yeah, what do you mean? Okay. No, you can't do that.
We could. We are.
God.
You don't have a choice.
Yes, ma'am.
You do have a choice. All the other weeks.
Okay.
Shabbat Shalom, and thank you for sharing. Shabbat Shalom, thank you for sharing. I welcome you to take your seats again.
Or not.
We're going to begin with something new. As Rabbi mentioned, we're going to think a little bit outside of the box tonight. Some of the readings that we haven't paid a lot of attention to, some of them offer up new melodies. Many of the melodies we're doing tonight are written by Noah Aronson because he happened to write an entire album called The Left Side of the Page, which is music from the left side of the page. But we're going to be thinking outside the box and bringing in new songs from other things, some old songs, some things that are just to inspire a little differently. So this is a new Hine Matov by Noah Aronson, not from the left side of the page, but just a new way to start. And I thought that this text, this beautiful English that he wrote, let's light up the world, O brothers and sisters, together with peace and love, bring light to the world and sing Hine Matov. What a nice way to start Shabbat. It starts with a yalalalai.
Approaching the shortest day and longest night of the year. And you know it because 4:30 is starting to be nighttime. And so this is the time of year when lighting Shabbat candles speaks volumes about what we try to do to bring light into the darkest places in the world. Page 121 and 120. O source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness, help us to find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words we shall speak into our hearts and our lives. Bless all who enter this sanctuary in need, all who bring the offerings of their hearts. May our worship lead us to acts of kindness, peace, and love. And on the following page, we welcome Shabbat with Kiddush. And there was evening and there was morning the sixth day. The heaven and the earth were finished in all their array. On the seventh day, God finished the work that God had been doing, and God ceased on the seventh day from all the work that God had done. And God blessed the seventh day and declared it holy, because on it God ceased from all the work of creation that God had done.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho b'ahava u'vratzon hinechilanu, zikaron l'maaseh v'reshit, ki hu yom techila למקראי קודש, זכר לציאת מצרים. כי באנו בחרת, ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים, ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. We continue on the middle of 128. Shabbat HaMalka HaChamera Merosh. This beautiful prayer that invites Shabbat to come and to join us and to bring the angels of peace. Page 135, the bottom paragraph of the Hebrew from Psalm 99, Romemu. Page 141, Mikolot Mayim Rabim, out of the depths of the great water. 141, it's in the middle of the bottom paragraph.
can't always get a sense from here on the Bima of what people are thinking. Tonight, it feels like the majority of you are going, you're changing stuff and I don't like it. I'm watching you not move a muscle while we're singing. You're sitting there roughly doing this. So this is a creative, experimental worship experience, which I will promise you will fall flat on its face for you if you sit there like that. So if you don't know the words, if they're new words, hum. Sing la la la. If you don't know the melody, make it up as you go. But just try to open yourselves. It's actually something I'm going to talk about during the Torah reading, so kind of an advanced thing there, like we mostly know all of you, so you can't impress us any longer. So just relax and go with it, and if you go a little bit, like, you start clapping, the world won't end, okay? Let's think about that. So on page 145 is a poem. And this poem is very important to me. You'll actually find it on a huge painting in my office up on the wall. Okay. I went to my girlfriend's house one day, years ago. It's okay, I was loud. And she was busy with something, so I pulled a book of poetry down off her shelf and just opened it randomly. And I opened to this page, to this poem. And I fell in love with it. And I memorized it. And it is my silent prayer. It is what I say most of the time when we get to the part of the service that's a silent prayer. So I memorized it, and I married the woman. So this is a really very, very beautiful, and for me, a very special prayer.
145. Teach me, O God, a blessing, a prayer on the mystery of a withered leaf, unripened fruit so fair, on the freedom to see, to sense, to breathe, to know, to hope, to despair. Teach my lips a blessing, a hymn of praise, as each morning and night you renew your days. Let my day be as the one before, lest routine set my ways. Love a prayer on the mystery of a withered leaf, unripened fruit so fair, on the freedom to see, to sense, to breathe, to know, to hope, to despair. Teach my lips a blessing, a hymn of praise, as each morning and night you renew your days. Let my days be as the one before, lest routine set my ways. We rise if we're able for Baruch Hu, which is on the screens.
$149.
It's you.
Okay. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows.
Your
Wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim. I don't know how many of you pay attention to the little notes at the bottom of the pages, but there on 149, let's read together this beautiful reading from Amos Oz. I know that the tide is not an independent force, but merely the submission of the water to the movement of the moon in its orbit. And this orbit, in its turn, is subject to other orbits, which are far mightier than it. And so, on the whole universe is held fast in the clinging grip of strong hands, the forces of earth and sun, planets and comets and galaxies, blindly erupting forces, ceaselessly stirring in ripples of silence to the very depth of black space. 151. As you taught Torah to those whose names I bear, teach me Torah too. Its mystery beckons, yet I struggle with its truth. You meant Torah for me. Did you mean the struggle for me too? Don't let me struggle alone. Help me to understand, to be wise, to listen, to know. Lead me into the mystery. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael.
A new thought on Shema.
be seated. 155. Love your God with every heartbeat, with every breath, with every conscious act. Keep in mind the words I command you today. Teach them to your children. Talk about them at work, whether you are tired or you are rested. Let them guide the work of your hands. Keep them in the forefront of your vision. Do not leave them at the doorway of your house or outside your gates. They are reminders to do all of my mitzvot, so that you can be holy for God. I am Adonai your God. I led you out of Egypt to become your God. I am Adonai your God. 157.
.161 and 160. Invite Sharon back up.
Let there be light.
On page 165 is this beautiful little prayer, Pray as If. And our guest artist, Max Kassler, set this to music. But he added a couple extra words, so the full song is on the screen, but it is from this left page of 165.
We'll rise in the middle.
And we will rise in the middle, yes.
Some perished by fire,
some by water,
some crossed the sea or watered the desert. Some starved all week to make a Shabbat feast. Some were left childless until old age. Some lifted their chins beneath a father's knife. Those who came before us gave everything, so that we, generations later, could glorify you. And despite the dangers, with your protection, some did survive and even flourish. Some reaped in joy, were spared the knife, were granted children. We are their inheritors, O God, and we know how rare is our good fortune to be born to such hard-won treasures. A great responsibility is ours, and yours as well. For if you do not sustain us, as you did Abraham and Sarah, Rebekah and Isaac, Jacob, Rachel, and Leah, then who will sing your praises? Who will lift their chins as we do now to sanctify your name? Baruch atah Adonai, Hoked Sarah u'Magen Abraham. 169. We pray that we might know before whom we stand, the power whose gift is life, who quickens those who have forgotten how to live. We pray for the winds to disperse the choking air of sadness, for cleansing rains to make parched hopes flower, and to give all of us the strength to rise up toward the sun. We pray for love to encompass us for no other reason save that we are human, for love through which we may all blossom into persons who have gained power over our own lives. We pray to stand upright, we fallen, to be healed, we sufferers. We pray to break the bonds that keep us from the world of beauty. We pray for opened eyes, we who are blind to our own authentic selves. We pray that we may walk in the garden of a purposeful life, our own powers in touch with the power of the world. Praise be the God whose gift is life, whose cleansing rains let parched men and women flower toward the sun. Baruch atah Adonai, Michayeh Hakol. 171. Days pass and the years vanish, and we walk sightless among miracles. God, fill our eyes with seeing and our minds with knowing. Let there be moments when your presence, like lightning, illumines the darkness in which we walk. Help us to see wherever we gaze that the bush burns unconsumed, and we, clay touched by God, will reach out for holiness and exclaim in wonder, how filled with awe is this place, and we did not know it. Blessed is the Eternal One, the Holy God. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
Page 170, you may be seated. Page 173 and 72, or on the screens.
Page 175, a reading that seems to have been created for this day and age. You are with us in our prayer, our love, and our doubt, in our longing to feel your presence and do your will. You are the still clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble, when pain clouds the mind, we look inward for the answer to our prayers. There may we find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance. And let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otcha levadcha b'yir'ah na'avod. 177. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha, ulecha na'eh lahodot.
The words "grant us peace" in our prayer book are on page 179, and a slightly older version, which is what this composer set, is on the screens. As I sing, please feel free to compare the two, see which one you like better, see which one speaks to you about peace and about the prayers that we have for our country and for peace in the world. Grant us peace, thy most precious gift, O thou eternal source of peace, and enable our nation to be a messenger of peace unto the peoples of the earth. Bless our country, that it may ever be a stronghold of peace and an advocate of peace in the council of nations. May contentment reign within its borders, health and happiness within its homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship and fellowship among all inhabitants of our land. Plant virtue in every soul, and may the love of thy name hallow every home and every heart. Praise be thou, O Lord, giver of peace. Praise be thou, O Lord, giver of peace.
We continue silently. There are prayers in the book, but it seems that this would be a time to find the left side of your own page. The words that you have inside you, don't worry about the language. Don't worry about the form. Pray the words in your heart. This year in adult education, we're studying the Mishnah. And we're right now in the middle of the section on brachot, where most of the service that we know was created. Most of the prayers that we know, the right side of the page, were written by the rabbis of the Mishnah. I've studied it and found not a single reference to driver's licenses. Not one, really. I mean, it's kind of amazing. In later commentaries, not a word about driver's licenses. I'm not certain why. But it was a number of years ago that we realized that there is a midrash in receiving your driver's license. That it's actually one of the largest life cycle events that our young people experience. In many ways, it's a way more lasting change than turning 13. Probably in their near future, second only to leaving for college. So we created a left side of the page blessing for people who have recently received their driver's license. And so I'm going to ask our new drivers, please, to come forward for a special blessing and a present. Come on, right front, face me. This is for you. This is for you. I'm going to read it in a minute, okay? So hang on, my turn first. Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu. Our God and God of our ancestors, a long-awaited day has arrived. As these new drivers stand before you, new freedoms and new opportunities open before them. Tonight we share their happiness, and together we say Shehachianu, Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu, Melech HaOlam, Shehachianu, V'kiyimanu, V'higianu, Lazman Hazeh. We praise you, Adonai, our God, source of all creation, for creating us, for sustaining us, and for bringing us to this special time. And now as you become licensed drivers, may God grant you clear vision and wisdom. May God give you the wisdom not to endanger yourselves or those who trust their safety to you. May you always yield to others, respect the rights of those who travel on foot and by bicycle, and have compassion and understanding for those less skilled whom you find along your way. May you understand that this license does not mean that you know it all. Rather, it is a license to learn more about driving, about the world, and about yourself. May God grant your parents faith and courage. May they know that God's presence is with you wherever you go. May you reach your destination in safety and return in peace to your home and your family. On this keychain are the words of Tfilat Haderech, the traveler's prayer. Please read them with me now as your first prayer on your new journey. Ready? May it be your will, Adonai, our God and God of our ancestors, to lead me in peace and safety, and bring me to my destination in joy and peace. Deliver me from every enemy and danger. Send your blessings upon the works of my hands. Let me find grace, kindness, and love in your eyes, and in the eyes of all whom I meet. Listen to the voice of my prayer, for you are God, who heeds the words of our prayers. I praise you, Adonai, who hears my prayers. Adonai yishmor tzecha uvoecha me'ata va'ad olam. May God guard you as you go out and as you come home, now and forever. Mazel tov. And be careful. You can say Mazel tov.
Mazel tov.
And be careful.
And be careful.
We're going to do something different with the Torah reading tonight too. And we hope you like this experiment. It's not exactly the left side of the page, but it's different. And so we're going to welcome the Torah into our midst and try something a little different.
We're going to sing Susha Arim, page 364, when we complete that song to walk around the room, we will turn immediately to Baruch Shenatan, which is the top of 366, so I don't have to say it later. 364 to 366.
Please rise. Please be seated. So here's what's going to happen. We're reading from Parashat Vayetze, the story of Jacob running away for his life because his brother's going to kill him for absolutely no reason at all except he stole everything that belonged to him and his future and his father's love and some other things. So Jacob's pretty terrified. He's never been away from home before. He has slept in comfortable accommodations. He is described as Ish Tam Yoshev Ohalim, a gentle man who likes staying in the tent. And he is now running for his life through the desert, afraid of his brother, who is a hunter, and various other desert creatures. And he runs until it's dark and he can't run anymore, and he lies down on the ground and uses a rock as his pillow. And that's where we pick up this little adventure. So what we're going to do is read 3 very short sections. We're going to read them together in English. I'm going to give a tiny little midrash on each one, and then we're going to read each of them from Torah. So you'll have some idea of what's being said as we go through it. So they will be on the screen, and we're going to ask that everybody join together in the aliyot, which are
368.
368. So we'll do this together so there is no repeat of that second line.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvarach,
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato,
Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. We read together. He dreamed, and behold, a ladder was set on the ground, with its top reaching to heaven. And behold, angels of God going up and coming down on it. And lo, the Eternal stood up above it, and said, I, the Eternal, am the God of your father Abraham, and the God of Isaac. The land on which you are lying I will give to you and to your descendants. And your descendants shall be like the dust of the earth. And you shall spread out to the west and the east and the north and the south. Through you and your descendants, all the families of the earth shall find blessing. And here I am with you. I will watch over you wherever you go, and I will bring you back to this soil. I will not let go of you as long as I have yet to do what I have promised to you.
I wrote in the newsletter article that's out this month that 1 and 1 equals 2. And that we really can't mess with facts, that facts exist. But I have to tell you that it's not always true, because 1 and 1 do not always equal 2. They do in mathematics all the time. But they don't in the world of the spirit. Because once in a while, 1 plus 1 equal 100,000. Or 10,482,574. There are moments that don't add up. There are moments that go so far beyond their individual ingredients that we call it transcendence. A moment transcends reality. In this Torah portion, Jacob does not know if he's going to live until morning. He is alone for the first time in his life. He is defenseless. He's a sweet boy. He's a stinker, actually, but he's a sweet stinker. He's in the middle of nowhere. And God appears to him and says, I will be with you. See, it's not just me. It's me and this whole squadron of angels going up and going down. I will be with you. Jacob, look, you have a future. You'll not only survive this night and the next day and the one after that and the trip that you're going on, but you will have descendants. You will bring people into the world who will spread out to the west and to the east and the north and the south. They will cover the earth like dust. There will be so many. I will never abandon you. You think you're alone, but you are not. You are in the presence of God. You cannot add hard ground and rock and scared person and come up with that. It is a transcendent moment. And any one of us who has ever experienced it, even for the briefest second, understands suddenly that 1 plus 1 equals God. Leah Chalom, v'hinei sulam mutzav arza, v'rosho magia hashamayma, v'hinei malachei Elohim olim v'yordim bo, v'hinei Adonai nitzav alav, v'yomer ani Adonai Elohei Avraham avicha, v'Elohei Yitzchak, ha'aretz asher ata shochev aleha, lecha etnena ulezarecha, v'haya zaracha ka'afar ha'aretz, ufaratzta yama v'kedma v'tzafona v'negba, v'nivrechu v'cha kol mishpachot ha'adama, ובשעריך, והנה אנוכי עמך, ושמרתיך בכל אשר תלך, והשיבותיך אל האדמה הזאת, כי לא אעזובך עד אשר אם עשיתי את הדבר, את אשר דיברתי לך. Second reading, are you ready?
Waking from his sleep, Jacob said, Truly the Eternal is in this place, and I did not know it. He was awestruck and said, How awe-inspiring is this place! This is none other than the house of God, and this is the gate of heaven. Rising early that morning, Jacob took the stone that he had put under his head and set it up as a monument. He then poured oil on its top.
The rabbis taught years ago that there is nothing superfluous in the Torah. Every sentence, every word, every letter, every one of the little crowns that's on one of the letters is there for a purpose. And everything can be learned from. In this portion, we have something which is superfluous. If you're able to look at the Hebrew that's there, at the end of the first, actually the whole first line, Vayikatz Yaakov Mishnato, and God jumped up, and Jacob jumped up from his sleep. Vayomer, Achen yesh Adonai b'makom hazeh va'anochi lo yadati. Surely God is in this place, and I did not know. We're missing a word in that. There's this word in there on the second line that says Anochi, I. Now, if I read the sentence without it, Yesh Adonai b'makom hazeh v'lo yadati. God is in this place and I didn't know. It's perfect. But there's this word that actually comes out as God is in this place and I did not know. Well, why is that? What's the purpose of that word? Rabbi Larry Kushner, an extraordinary teacher, taught something about this that I've never forgotten. God is in this place. God was so present. I saw God that I did not know. I forgot about myself. I became so wrapped up in what was happening that I forgot about myself. This is what I said to you at the beginning of the service. I didn't care what other people saw. I don't care what I looked like. I didn't even think about me. I just got wrapped up in this literally incredible experience. Do we dare? God, this is hard for suburban Americans. It really is. Everything we do, what will the neighbors think? What will the others say? What would happen in the middle of a song if someone just stood up and went, hallelujah? Everyone would be like, look, what's the matter with you? I think it would be cool. So maybe sometimes we need to be alone so we can let go. Can we find a place where we can let go enough that we could forget about ourselves? Don't do this when you're driving. Please, don't do this when you're operating if you're a surgeon. Do this at a time and in a place where you could dare to let go of yourself. Surely God is in this place. And if we let go enough, we'll find that we're there with God. Vayikatz Yaakov Mishnato, Vayomer Achen yesh Adonai b'makom hazeh, va'anochi lo yadati. Vayira vayomar ma nora hamakom hazeh, ein zeh ki'im beit Elohim, v'zeh sha'ar hashamayim. Vayishkem Yaakov b'boker, vayikach et ha'even asher sam meirashotav, v'yasam ota matzeva, v'yitzok shemen al rosha, v'yikra et shem hamakom hachu beit El, v'ulam luz shem ha'ir larishona. Reading 3.
Jacob then made this vow.
If God is with me in this place, watches over me on this path that I am taking, and gives me bread to eat and clothing to wear, and if I return safely to my Father's house, then will the Eternal be my God. And this stone that I have set up as a monument shall be a house of God. And of all that you give me, I will dedicate a tenth to you. So Jacob has this transcendent experience. Sees the future, sees God, sees the angels. And is he changed? Is he like the people on TV shows and movies that when God appears, they suddenly have an aura around them? Well, let's see. What does Jacob say after getting up? So God, I'll tell you what. If you do everything you promised, and I mean everything, if you guard me on my journey, if you bring me back safely, if you make sure that I've got food to eat, if you make sure that my clothes don't wear out, and I get back here safely, then I'll let you be my God. And even more than that, we'll become business partners. And whatever you give me, I'll give you back 10%. What do you say? Remember, Jacob has been a ganef his whole life. Ganef, a thief. He's been a ganef. He's stolen from his brother time and time again. He's stolen the blessing from his father when it didn't belong to him. So he has this transcendent experience, and he gets up and he goes, so God, you and me, we can work on this. Let's get something that's mutually beneficial. Oh my God, he learned nothing. Nothing. Or did he? Well, he sure didn't learn it yet. But Jacob's coming back to this spot 21 years from now. For 21 years, he is going to be cheated. He is going to be conned. He is going to have everything happen to him that he did to others. And little by little, over the 21 years, he is going to change. And he will come back to this spot in 21 years ready to wrestle with God. And he will wrestle all night long with God, 21 years from now. And God will show who's in charge. And Jacob will have his name changed. From Yaakov, which means literally the usurper, the one who takes what doesn't belong to you, to Yisrael, the one who wrestles with God. And of all our ancestors, we are not called B'nai Moshe, the children of Moses. We are not called B'nai Yitzchak, B'nai Sarah. We are called B'nai Yisrael, the children of Israel. Not because he was a saint, but because little by little, God was able to find the place within his heart. And it grew. And for all of us that think, oh, not me, I'm a drone. I'm a nothing, I'm a regular person. This section comes and says, be patient, open your eyes, be ready to wrestle, because God is waiting for you. V'yadar Yaakov neder lemor, im yeh Elohim imadi, ushmarani baderech hazeh, asher anochi holech, v'natan li lechem le'echol, uveged lilbosh, v'shavti b'shalom el beit avi, v'haya Adonai li l'Elohim, v'ha'even hazot asher samti matzeva, yeh beit Elohim, v'chol asher titen li, aser esrenu lach.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam natan b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
On the screens will be our prayer for healing. If you would like to add names of people whom you are praying for, we invite you to rise and say their names aloud. Healing of their body, healing of their spirit.
Adonai yishloch lahem refuah shlema. Adonai yishloch lahem refuah shlema. Refuat ha-nefesh refuat ha-guf. Refuah
Please rise if you are able.
V'zat haTorah asher sam Moshe
lifnei bnei Yisrael al pi Adonai v'yad Moshe. And this is the Torah which Moses placed before the people of Israel, as God commanded. $375. Page 586 in the middle of the page.
We are actually on the English, the
Right, on the
587.
left side of the page. Please be seated. 589. Let the time not be distant, O God, when all shall turn to you in love, when corruption and evil shall give way to integrity and goodness, when superstition shall no longer enslave the mind, nor idolatry blind the eye. O may all, created in your image, become one in spirit and one in friendship, forever united in your service. Then shall your realm be established on earth, and the word of your prophet fulfilled. Adonai will reign forever and ever. 591.
Start at the Vinat Emar. From the Vinat Emar, the middle of the piece. Vinat
So afterwards, we would very much like your thoughts on this service, on this way of doing this, and on some of the things that you may not have read before that have always been sitting there on the left side of the page. We actually encourage you, if you want to borrow a prayer book, we know where you live, open the book and look at the left side of most any page. Once in a while, it's a continuation of what's on the right side, but in most of the book, it's a chance to read a midrash, a different way of looking. And if you're not sure what you're looking at, then read the prayer on the right and say, I wonder what we would do with this. The ones on the right are the traditional prayers, and the left are the interpretations. So please let us know what you think. This is a very busy time at TRT, and all for the good. Tomorrow night, Andrea, how many people do we have coming to Comedy Club? 125 folks going to be here tomorrow night. If you haven't signed up, can they come at the door? Okay, good. You have to sit in the lobby, but it's like, and we'd love to have you join us tomorrow evening for Comedy Club, chance to laugh and relax with friends. So come tomorrow evening. We are coming up to Thanksgiving, and Tuesday evening, we participate in the annual Marlborough Community Interfaith Thanksgiving service. It's a really good chance to meet with, talk with, be with people that we don't often get to be with in our town and in our community. This year they've asked me to deliver the sermon, so I will be doing that. It's at the Old Brick Reformed Church, which is just slightly older than TRT.
By like 100 years?
No, it's pre-revolutionary.
So like a 200 years?
Yes. If you've never been inside, Old Brick is on 520. Just if you go up 79 and turn right at Food Emporium, 520, it's on the left. Right after that, it's set just back a little way. There's a fence around it. There's a cemetery there that's older than you would believe. The building itself is very old. Trust me, it's a maintenance nightmare, but that's not our problem. And the bathrooms are conveniently located in the building across the parking lot. Really. But it's an amazing place if you haven't seen it. And it really is a nice chance to get together with people. So whether you are a Marlborough resident or not really doesn't matter. If you want to welcome Thanksgiving with the community, come join us on Tuesday evening. I'd love to see you there. 2 weeks from tonight, actually next Friday, just a reminder, the service will be at 6:30. It's not usually at 6:30 in the end of the month, but it's the middle of the Thanksgiving long weekend. We thought that would be easier for people. Please come join us. And then 2 weeks from tonight is Hanukkah. Really? And we have Rak Shabbat Hanukkah, which is going to be a wonderful time with participation from our littlest students from K through 4, with welcoming our new members to the temple, and with our guest artist, Bryce Megdal. And we hope you'll come and join us and bring a Chanukiah for each of you. Each person bring your own candles and come join us. You know what a beautiful evening it is, and a nice way to celebrate the holiday together. All kinds of other things are going on, but pardon me if you're going to hear this over and over, and some of you I know have, but we've begun our annual coat drive and toy drive. And again, excuse me if I'm repeating myself from years past, but please understand that what we do with these drives is vital to the people that we serve. The people that we will be giving coats and hats and gloves and scarves to are not going to be choosing between which coat do I want to wear this winter. This will be the only coat they own. It will be the only hat they own. They will be the only gloves they own. We work with people to make sure they're given to people who need. The toys we collect are going to go to children for Christmas, and they're going to go mostly to the Lion of Judah Faith Center in Trenton, and I will once again promise you that the toys that you give will be the only toys that these children receive this year. So please, please help us. And with toys, by the way, also think of teenagers, because teenagers just aren't that cute. Most teenagers aren't that cute. And we tend to forget that they would like presents too. So please give it some thought. This is a really good time. There are sales in all the stores. I was in Costco and just looked and just bought a bunch of coats. And they were not expensive. And I have 3 coats to choose from in my closet. I'm really fortunate. So I just thought about that and bought some coats. And you can do this wherever you are. You see something on sale, you see toys on sale, or go on Amazon and just buy some stuff. If you want, you can have it delivered right here. Save you the trip. But please help us out. This goes on until the middle of December, and we really, really need your help, and we really appreciate your help. The bins are located out in the atrium, and they're here all the time. So we'd appreciate your help with that. So please take the announcement sheet with you and see what's going on and join us. We turn to page 598. Before we join together in Kaddish, I ask anyone who is here for Shiva to mark the death of someone within the past week to rise and say their name aloud. Please remain standing. If you are here for Shloshim, for someone who has died within the past 30 days, please rise and say their names. We as a community add for Shloshim the names of the people who were murdered in the synagogue in Pittsburgh. We are still within Shloshim for them, and we pray that God will console their family members and bring them into shelter in God's presence. And if you're here for Yartzeit or for any other reason, please rise and say their names aloud. Makom Yenachem Etchem, Im Sha'ar Avlei Tzion V'Yerushalayim. May God console you among the mourners of Zion and Jerusalem. Please rise if you are able. Yitgadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah, Ba'alma divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, B'chayechon u'v'yomechon, u'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala u'vizman kariv v'imru Amen. Yehei Shemei Rabbah mevarach le'alam u'lalmei amaya. Yitparach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yithalal Shmei dekudsha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'imru Amen. Yehei Shlama Rabbah min Shmaya. V'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel and to all the world, to which we say, Amen.
Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Chala?
Oneg will be at the back of the room tonight.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. We close as we opened. How lovely it is for us to be here together. Let's light up the world together with peace and love and sing Hine Ma Tov.
Dear God, help us to see the world with new eyes. Teach us words of prayer. Teach us very, very old words of prayer. Teach us very, very new words of prayer. Teach us to let go and pray with our whole heart, unconcerned about what other people think of us. If only just for a little while, if only just for a moment, please, God, let us see your glory. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
didn't do the swim club, I did the other one.
Oh, excuse me, everybody, I apologize, I was supposed to announce 3:30 Sunday afternoon. If you're not doing something, the group is going to Ronald McDonald's house, cook dinner. Ronald McDonald has a long day. And if you do some other people, you don't need to know how to cook, but if you'd like to cook, it's a Salam Shalom project. Please, you can just show up 3:30 or post here on Sunday morning. We'd love to talk to you about it. 3:30 Sunday, Ronald McDonald house, long day.
Wax? That's blue too. That's.
It's Havdalah.
How was that?
Service?
Yeah. Easy?
Yeah, it went quick. I'm just pissed because all that fucking work I did on this thing.
How long you gonna let it grow? That's what it took us.
Probably longer.
Yeah? To your ankles? You're probably gonna get braids, huh?
Oh,
No
yeah,
braids?
definitely. Just get, see how large we move all the way down.
That's long.
It's gonna be just kind of scraping the floor as I walk around all day. Sure you don't want me not putting anything away?
Nothing's gotta go away today.
Wires, anything? No? Out there. You're just gone. In that case, go on.
Take it easy, pal. Have a good night.
Thank you.
you start getting heavy.
So, by squinting, you can see, I guess what you